Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Redstone Warper here, and today we're going to go through 7 different redstone features that I feel are really underappreciated. The first I want to cover is Leafstone, as named by the community, in which you can actually use leaves in combination with moving oak logs to send a pulse through the leaves. So here I made a functioning little piston door here using leaves instead of redstone to carry out the signal. Leaves also, you can use it to make a clock, which is kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever seen anybody use a redstone clock like this one before. But because leaves transmit their signal faster than like a observer chain would, you can get these really smooth looking animations using Leafstone, where it's very smooth as it goes across, instead of being a little jittery like if you were to use observers to do the same thing. You can also do some interesting, almost animation type things like this. I'm actually thinking about trying to do something like this to make almost like a fire animation for like a small scale fireplace, or probably rather kind of big. But as you can see, if we come around the back here, all we're doing is pushing these logs across, which then updates all these leaves, which then sends a pulse going upwards. And so Leafstone can have some really pretty cool uses. I've also seen people use them to actually make clocks a little bit differently than that, in order to make netherite finding TNT dupers that can run on a 3-game tick clock. So I guess there is a pretty good practical use for Leafstone's exact timing. I know El Mango has also created the Zero-Tech cactus farm that unfortunately no longer works anymore, but that used Leafstone as well to be able to get game tick specific timing. Another really underappreciated feature I feel like is the use of bubble columns and walls to transmit signals instantly. So if we just press this button here, you can see that it pretty much instantly, there is a small delay, but can instantly travel up any distance after that delay, as well as the wall is able to instantly transfer signals downwards. So when we push this button, we can get this retracted really quickly. And this is actually one of the main features that controls all of my redstone RAM designs, which you can see a very early prototype sitting over there. A feature that is well beloved by the community, but is underappreciated by Mojang themselves, is Quasi Connectivity. Being able to activate pistons and other redstone devices using Quasi Connectivity is a really useful feature, being able to activate piston walls like this using a single redstone line back here. Another one that's very underappreciated by Mojang is the fact that sticky pistons with a 1-tick pulse can drop their block in Java. I feel very bad for all of the people who play in Bedrock because they don't have these features. And while yes, some people would say that that is a bug that they just never put into Bedrock, at this point it is very much a feature and very integral to Redstone as we know it. A redstone device that's used in many contraptions, the Comparator, I feel is also underappreciated. While the community appreciates it a great bit, it can be used for so many things, as I've lined up here, that I feel that we don't appreciate just how useful it is. For example, one of the things that I didn't know was possible until recently was making an XOR gate using comparators like this. That's really helpful and is used in one of my newer redstone adder designs that I'm in the process of playing around with. You can also use comparators to make clocks, so you can get really fast pulsing clocks like this, or you can add some repeaters in and have slower pulsing clocks. This is really useful because it allows us to get different speed clocks with just a few simple components. The way these work is by sending in a signal of 15 into the comparator and looping around. You can see here that this would be 15, 14, 13, and so then you take 15 minus 13 and you can output the signal. And so in this way, it can just kind of keep subtracting itself until it gets to 0 and repeats the cycle, so that you can have a pulsing redstone clock like this. Another thing comparators can do is detect items inside of containers. This is extremely useful, used for item sorting, as well as a bunch of other projects where you can make flip-flops and other devices that make use of the comparator being able to detect items inside of hoppers, as well as how many items are in the hopper. You can also use comparators to make simple canceling out, so I can turn on this signal here, or I can turn it off here, in order to make sure that this can't be on if this is on. so they can be used to make some pretty small AND gates as well, which is very useful for redstone computing. Comparators are also very good at creating pulse extenders. Working much like the redstone clocks, you can use a couple of comparators together like this to create a pulse extender, which extends the original pulse. Adding more comparators, we can make a longer pulse that's extended for a longer amount of time. This is really useful in adapting all sorts of redstone signals so that they can be used the way we need them to in various contraptions, such as a piston door that stays open for a little while and then closes. Similarly to the way comparators can detect items in containers, they can also detect the rotations of item frames. So this is really cool, and I feel like there used to be way more contraptions that use this feature, but unfortunately I really haven't seen any recently. So you can see with no item, none of the lights turn on, and then if I place an item in, it detects it, and then based on the rotation, it gives a different signal output. This is great for selecting switches or combination locks. It's really a super versatile thing that you can do, and I feel like it's kind of unappreciated how awesome this is. One that I've seen more recently is using the lectern. By putting a book with 15 pages, you can see in the corner there that as I flip each page, the signal strength goes up, and as I flip it back down, the signal goes down. This is also great because it allows us to take advantage of the full 15 signal strength that redstone can have, and control it with one lectern. Another feature people might not know is by having less books, it kind of acts as the percentage of pages flipped. Moving on to a more recent development with the comparator, showing that the comparator not only has been around for a while, but also continuously has more uses, we can create contraptions like this, which allow us to create instant comparators so that they can transfer a signal strength all the way to the other side there. The way this works is this redstone line gets activated, which activates the observers, which then primes the comparators so that they update faster, allowing it for it to instantly travel across this thing. By setting up an instant repeater on this line here, depending on the direction, you can then extend this line infinitely and send signals super far. This is really good for sending hexadecimal information across long distances, which may be possible to be used in some computer situations. Another feature that I feel like a lot of people don't know about and is kind of underappreciated is instant droppers. By using a very similar thing to the way the comparators are primed here, we can drop an item in this hopper and it can instantly be traveled the entire distance and thrown over here. This is much faster than any water stream could be, as well as any hopper line either, allowing it for us to transport many items very far away. Of course, this can be extended even further, and you can replace this comparator or this repeater with instant line, and you can get these droppers going much, much farther. If only this was 1.12, we could have them extend forever without needing chunk loading. RIP 1.12 chunk loading. So these are some redstone features that I feel are kind of unappreciated. If you were surprised to see how some of these things work, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'd really like to see how many people actually knew about some of these features, like the Leafstone, and how many people didn't. That's going to be all for today. Thanks for watching.